Hey guys, Don Walker here. Just want to make a quick video on what makes a true business person or a real entrepreneur. Well, I can relate to it. I mean, I grew up in family business, and if you stick with me on this, I'll give you some insight on why I do what I do on the internet. I grew up in a family business. My mother is Korean, and when she came to the United States, she really couldn't speak a lot of English. But the one thing that I knew that she was going to be was successful. She made her mind up and made a decision. Before she left Korea, she told her family that her goal was to become a millionaire. And there's some story inside to that, and some things that I've learned also with that. But I'll get to that in just a little bit here. But the one thing that I saw that my mom did as a child was the process of how she became successful. She started out with a wig store, and as a child, I really didn't think much of it. But think back, like, this is kind of weird. This is kind of a weird business, but it was pretty lucrative because for some reason people just needed to have wigs. I mean, predominantly most women did, but men would come in there for toupees, and she was really, good at what she did. She was really skilled at her craft, and I would help my mom out a lot with making the styles of the wigs and stuff like that. As a boy, it was kind of weird, but we would do it because just to help her with her business. But she'd get there about 7 o'clock in the morning and stay as late as 7 o'clock at night. And after that, she invested into a little nightclub that stayed open. I think she opened it about 8 or 9, and it would stay open to about maybe 12, about midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. And then she'd go back again to that wig store. And I watched my mom do that for several years, and then she eventually invested into another business. She bought a filler station. At the time, they're called convenience stores, gas stations, but back then they were called filler stations. If you know any of the old terms, and I just we slowly watched our mom really just develop as a really savvy business person. And the thing that I learned about that, what business people do and the decisions they make, they don't spend so much time thinking and pondering on what they need to do. They focus more on what the result is, what it's going to do for them, and they just jump on the opportunity. So if you're on the internet and you're looking to start a business, and like I said, the whole reason why I'm doing this is because my whole experience with business is kind of like influenced by my mother. I used to do a lot of entrepreneurial things. I've worked in the flea market. I've sold things in person. I've been in sales for over 10 years, and I can always think back. In the back of my head, I always think about my mother and the things that she taught me about business. And she always said, Donald, whatever you do, just be the best at it. Just be good at it, because when you make a decision to be good at something, then you will be. And she said it's going to be difficult. When I came to the country, this coming from my mother, she said I couldn't even speak English. I couldn't do anything. I struggled, but I made a decision to be able to learn. I took classes, to learn English, and at the same time, I was struggling to be able to work in a business. And at the time, my mother was an apprentice under someone. She worked under someone, another Korean lady, while she was learning how to run that business. She was taking English classes, and then eventually she purchased that business because the lady, she sold it to her. And I think she went on to move to New York, and my mother took over that business. But the thing is, her decision started before she even came to this country. She decided that she was going to come to the United States. She was going to become very successful, and she decided that no matter how many obstacles or challenges that she was going to have, that she was going to overcome those challenges. And that's the thing that she always taught me. She says, when you make a decision about your future, you just make it and just take action and keep moving forward. And no matter what happens, no matter how difficult it is, you keep moving forward because you've already committed to that decision. Now, what got me to go onto the internet? I asked myself that question because back in 2010, when I first started out on the internet, I was very frustrated because I tried to start my own blog. I tried to make videos back then. I tried to learn some new things, and what I realized was that I was behind because I was off the internet for some time. I used to sell on eBay, and I was an affiliate marketer, But that was back in 2000, 2001 when I decided to get back on the internet to sell because I got tired of direct selling in person. I realized that I was behind on some of the technology. So I became very frustrated, and really, truthfully, people, I quit. I quit internet marketing back then, and I just continued just to do what I did all the time. I just sold. Now, I was addicted to making that money, and I was stuck. I was just stuck. I was stuck, and I could not, transition onto the online market. And I realized something. I said, you know what, Don? If you don't make a decision to really give a go at this, you won't make it. And I looked at the people that were being successful. I looked at the people that had success, the ones that I saw that had that struggle, and then 2 years later, they became very successful. And I said, wow, they just really stuck with it. And I really said, you know what? This time around, I'm going to learn and I'm going to really take some serious action. And I started making more videos. I started to have more fun. I started to make more connections. And I realized something very important. When you're in a group of people and you start to meet people and you start to network with people, you start to learn a lot of things that you would have learned just being by yourself. Now, I made a decision last year around July. It was a $25 decision to press a button, to click a link, put my name and email address into a page. And little did I know that I was going to watch a presentation. I decided to watch the entire presentation. I did not click out of it because I knew that if I kept going back, that my life would constantly keep going in circles. So I committed to watch the entire presentation. At the very end of the presentation, I was asked to buy something. And I said, for $25, what's $25? I watched my mother spend thousands of dollars in business. If you start a traditional business, you know that it takes money. I know this because I've managed businesses, and I know that $5,000 to $10,000 later, you're just getting started and you're just getting your feet wet. So I said to myself, what's $25 to start out? $25 just to start. Let's just see what this is all about. And the crazy thing is, when I made that decision last year, July 3rd, 2012, it was a day before my wife and I, our anniversary. The thing what happened was, by September, I decided to leave my job and I quit. September 19, 2012, and my wife just recently quit her job January 4th. And I said to myself, if I didn't make that decision to spend that initial $25 to get in, then what would have happened? If I didn't make that decision, we would have never gone to San Diego together. If I didn't make that decision, we would have never gone to Austin and had one of the most amazing breakthroughs we've ever had together as a couple and also in our lives. If I didn't make that decision, my wife would not be with me doing business full time at home right now on the internet, because I wasn't going to turn back doing traditional sales anymore, and I was tired of it, folks. I was tired of doing the same thing over and over again. And today, I want you to make a decision. Now, maybe you don't want to be on the internet. Maybe you don't want to be truly successful on the internet. Maybe you don't want to become a leader. Maybe you are afraid that you don't want to leave your current situation. But I can relate to you on that, because I was afraid at first. The feeling that I had before pressing that button to join was, my hands were really sweaty. My stomach was really upset. I had those thoughts in my head that, what if this is not going to work? What if this is just one of those things again that it's just one of those typical scams? But I said, if I don't take a chance on this and spend $25 to start out, then maybe I'll never know. Maybe I'll never know. So I encourage you today to take an action, make a decision, and take a chance. There's a link at the bottom of this page here. Of course, you can send comments and ask questions, but I want you to make a decision on your life and take a chance today. Other than that, have a blessed day. You definitely deserve it. I'm going to go enjoy some time with my family and do some other things on the internet.